listening to Evergreen Media Network. I am Cindy Schwartz, and this is the Patient Partner Podcast. My co-host Jeannie Roller is on with me today. Jeannie, we're doing some housekeeping podcasts. We decided because we've got some issues that are out there that we want to add a little bit more to. We did some podcasts about the implants. Three really, really brave, courageous, awesome ladies came on and talked about implant history and the dynamics of that. So we want to follow up on that. And we also want to talk about another topic. It's called night hospitals that are becoming, hopefully, the forefront of what hospital care is, because we all know when you're in the hospital, they wake you up how many times a night? Oh, let's wake you up. We got to take your temperature. We got to do this. We're going to need your blood pressure. We're going to give you your pills. We're going to do this. And you just got to sleep. And the thing that's funny about that, not ha-ha funny, is, isn't it the medical community, the doctors, the nurses, when you don't feel well, what's the first thing that they tell you? Get some rest, drink plenty of fluids, just about for anything. I mean, yeah, they'll say it for a cold especially, but definitely get some rest and take it easy, give your body time to recuperate. So that's the vein of what that is about. So let's start, Jeannie. You have some updates on what the implants can also do. And from one of the people that we have locally here to me in South Florida, working with a really, really top-notch doctor who addresses these implant issues, and that's his focus. So let's talk about that first, then we'll talk about the night hospitals.
Okay. Yeah, Cindy, I was reading that from Dee about an older lady who'd had her implants for a number of years. I think usually 15 years are about as long as an implant is said to last safely.
Mm-hmm.
And she went in because she was in intense pain. Hers had malformed and were like rock solid, the implants themselves. So she went in to have them removed. Well, after they were removed, he did kind of like an autopsy on them. And I mean, they were calcified, the implants. There was a number of like blood clots around them inside that calcification. But the interesting thing was that the implants were still sealed, but inside these supposedly sterile implants, things were growing inside of the saline solution.
Okay.
So, the doctor was like, if these are sterile and sealed, how can things grow inside of them? So it's baffling. What are the, it makes me wonder, what are the standards in manufacturing these implants? Because a lot of people. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to interject and I'll just throw myself out there. I honestly didn't realize that there was an expiration date. I didn't know. I don't really know a lot about implants. I don't personally, just talking with people and whatever, but obviously there's an expiration date. Duh. So there has to be QC on them, quality control. There has to be all those kind of measures. So I'm with you. I mean, what would be those measures? I mean, let's look into that a little bit more, too, because that's mind-boggling.
Interesting. He couldn't find any manufacturer identifying, information on the implants. So, he had no idea who had actually made them. So, but I didn't realize that too, that they do have an expiration date of how long you should have them.
Yeah.
So that's ongoing care for those. And, we of course don't think of like being hit hard in the chest can
rupture them,
puncture them.
Yeah,
rupture. And all the things. And as I said, hers had malformed. They had hardened and malformed. So they were twisting her tissue. And she was in intense pain, and she was like in her early 80s. So she put up with it like like a lot of us women do. We put
Right.
up with pain and
Yeah, we do.
aches and
Yeah, people do.
such. And
Yeah.
she did until the point where she couldn't do it any longer.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that to me, that is just baffling. How if they are still sealed and they were supposed to be sterile,
Mm-hmm.
how does gunk grow in them or mold or whatever it was?
Yeah.
I mean, it
yeah.
was big things, and
Yeah.
it wasn't just like little particles. It was massive clumps of whatever. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah. So there needs to be more research on it, certainly. And this stuff needs to come to light. It does. I'm glad those three ladies came on and talked about it. There are definitely different reasons why women would get implants after surgeries, blah, 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 cosmetic reasons, on and on and on. But the product should be definitely tested to the max before something like that happens. And also, if you and I are just realizing, at our age, with all the stuff that's out there, that there's an expiration date on these kind of things. I mean, duh for us, but do the people getting the implants know all this stuff when they get them? That would be my question. Hopefully they do, because how you can make how do you make a decision? I don't want to say it's like buying a car. You want to know everything that there is to know about it that you possibly can, in certainly medical stuff, to be able to make the purchase. If you will, because that's what you're doing, and especially in your body. That would go along with all kinds of implants, knee implants, hip replacements, shoulder, anything like that, heart, valves, those things, on and on and on. So let's do more research. I mean, it's certainly a topic that we could talk about ongoing. So in the last 3 minutes we have, Jeannie, let's talk about that night hospital. It's a study now that's being done. What's your research on that?
Well, to me, it is a no-brainer. It's amazing that it's taken this long for doctors to finally confirm what we have thought all along, that you need sleep, and they have come up with different ways in order to monitor patients without waking them up during the night. And that's great because, when I was in hospital with my children, I remember being awoken, multiple times during the night. So they're doing a lot of things with robotic carts, wearable sensors to track the vitals. So that's great because sleep does heal. They finally decided that's a thing.
Well, it's funny. Like I said in the beginning of the podcast, they're the ones that told us that. And your body knows that because you don't have the energy, or, however you want to explain it. You're not going to have the energy when you don't feel well, right? We all know that. Like, I don't feel well. What's the matter with you? Oh, I just don't have any energy, today, blah, 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 because something's wrong or whatever. So there you go. Ding, ding, ding. There's the trigger kind of thing. And so now here they're waking us up because it's protocol or it's the routine or whatever. Oh, we got to get the pill, Q2H or whatever it is. And now how many years later, we're finally saying, okay, our bodies were right all along. We were right all along. Get your rest, and that's how your body heals itself. And you know it anyway. I mean, how many times do you say 8 hours of sleep? They're doing how many studies about that now? 7 hours really isn't that good. If you only get 5 hours, it's this. And of course, it's different for every person. But I mean, as in the medical arena, isn't that the thing to do then? Let the people rest as much as they possibly can? It's just it's like the light bulb went off all of a sudden. And this is a study that started where? In Japan? Do we know where?
Yes.
It started in Japan. Okay, so they're on board with a lot of good stuff over there. So and everyone's in it together around the world. I mean, whatever works for everyone, let's share it. Let's share the information because it's the benefit for everybody. Some of this stuff is just like, duh. I'm glad it's coming out, and I'm glad. But why does it have to be recognized? You know what I mean? Let's put this on, a board somewhere and say, okay, now it's official because you have to get rest when you're in the hospital. Duh. Haven't we been crying about that all along? So our bodies are right. Let's listen to them, and have a laugh over it. But let's push this forward because we know it's going to work. On that note, stay listening to Evergreen Media Network.